This letter is quite interesting. Is something which I have been struggling as well when I was a manager back then in an office. So it reads like this: Dear Building Better Leaders, I believe in being air quote real. I want my team to know I'm human, that I don't have all the answers, and that I also wrestle with doubt, imposter syndrome, and uncertainty at times. Recently, I opened up to my team during a town hall and shared that this year has been tough, both professionally and personally. I thought it would help them see that it's okay to be honest about struggles. But afterwards, someone mentioned, with good intentions, that I should be careful because, I quote here, people need to believe you've got things under control. That hit me hard. I thought I was being relatable. Now I'm wondering if I'm accidentally made people question my leadership. So the question here is, where's the line between being vulnerable and being too exposed? How can I be transparent without shaking their confidence in me? Yeah, so this is kind of like a new age conversation. I don't remember back then, when I was starting up, this whole thing about vulnerability ever did come up before. I think it's something where now people say that, oh, it's good for you to show your vulnerability because it comes across as human in this case. But then people are starting to push back as well because they say, hey, I think you're showing too much realness in this case, right? So I think, where's that line? How much to show without coming across as incompetent, and how much not to show? So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Where do we start with this letter writer?
So this is really interesting, and I must say I totally understand. Um, I like to practice being very real with my people as well, and I think it's important for leaders to be real, honest, authentic. When we try to project a false front, false confidence, people know that we are hiding something, but they don't know what we are hiding. They just get the sense that we are hiding something, or our guard is up. There's something that we're not revealing, and that gets them to be very. It can get them to be worried, or it just provides fuel for speculation and gossip. And this is something that has been even more apparent after the pandemic, where people
Oh,
are a lot more cautious and a lot more wary about what's happening in the workplace. The future is uncertain, what's going on. So, one of the qualities, like you said, a new age thing, and this is something that came out from the pandemic, that people want their leaders to be open and honest with them. But as a leader, when you are experiencing all that self-doubt, imposter syndrome, the uncertainty, um, it is a challenge, how much you actually reveal. Now, what how I deal with it is that I go back to what makes a leader in the first place. A leader
right.
is someone that people follow. If we want to go back to, let's say, the beginning of time, caveman days,
Okay.
people will follow the person who knows where's the best hunting ground, where do I find the best buffalo, where do I find shelter, clean water. The leader is typically, traditionally known as someone who can show the way. May not be the best hunter, but knows how to get to the best hunting ground. So, as a leader, when we open up to reveal our true self, we if we reveal all the mess, all the inner mess that is there, ah, people are going to lose faith in us. So the remark that was made to this letter writer, I think there is some truth to that. That people need to believe you've got things under control. I think there's some truth to that. So what can the leader do? You want to be open, but at the same time, you don't want to reveal the mess that you are inside, all the fears and the doubts. What we do as leaders, this is the challenge as well as the joy of being a leader, is that we need to work on ourselves. Leaders need to have that self mastery, that self awareness, that you are always handling your own uncertainty and doubt. That's what I do. I find that I need to get myself to be in a place of certainty. While I may not have all the answers, I need to know how to get the answers. any emotional issues that I am going through, I know that I need to handle it quickly so that I can still be open to my team without unloading all my mess onto them. So it's not a, so you want to open and let people know that, okay, I am going through all this. Don't worry, I'm handling it. So as long as people get a sense that you're still able to control it, then they won't worry. They just need to know that you've got a handle on it, you've got a grip on it, or at least you're aware and you're not just being delusional about it.
What you said suddenly just gave me this picture of, I think a leader needs to, like you said, go back to understanding of a leader, right? So I think one part of it is really important to understand that leadership don't exist in a vacuum. So it's about having connection and having that relationship with the people that you bring along as well. So I think it's very important to understand that as a leader, you are responsible for the growth of the people that you bring along. So what happens is that if you are just oversharing kind of like what you are going through without the thought of empowering them, like this information is not helpful for them in this case, right? Then I think then this person, the leader, could be just playing the victim, kind of say that, oh, I can't achieve this because I'm in a mess right now. I don't know where we're going, things like this, right?
Yeah, no one wants a leader like that.
Yeah. So I think that is where I think Brene Brown, the vulnerability go-to person, right? She said that vulnerability minus boundaries is not vulnerability; it's oversharing, right? So it's not, there needs to be a boundary, right? So a boundary here, what it means is that it is not coming across as like, look, I'm a mess right now, so I'm useless to you. No, I don't think that is helpful, right,
Not at all.
for the people. Instead, like what you said, to be able to, so there's two parts to it. Number one, to acknowledge that yes, I am going through some kind of mess in this case, but the second part is important, to be able to say that, but this is what I'm going to do about it, right?
Yes.
So there's two parts to it. So one is like, for example, it can be what a victim would sound like, would be like, you know what, I don't know what we're doing, it feels like we're drowning, so let's see how lah tomorrow, that kind of thing. So that yeah, even though whatever the person is feeling is that way, right, they're drowning and so on, I think that is where it's not helpful, the information. I think like you said, the person needs to have a lot of self-awareness to say, okay, whatever that I say needs to come across as empowering. So how would I reword that, but yet I still feel authentic, I still feel that it's still me in this case. So this person can say something like in the town hall, like what we're facing is hard, is difficult, and but here's what I'm learning on how we can move forward. These are some of my thoughts. Let's work together towards it. So I think there's always the second part to say this is what we're going to do about it.
Yes.
This is what we're thinking about it, right? And just not leave it as, look, I'm in a mess, that kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
I've done this a few times before, where sometimes I don't even have the answers for it, but I know that if I were to continue to be in that environment or in that room, it won't be helpful. So what I would usually say to the team back then is to say that I am actually not in a good headspace at this point in time. Something happened in the morning, and would you allow me to just give me some space, and I will get back to you by end of the day or by tomorrow on how we can move forward on this. Is that all right with you? So then at least the people know that, yes, I'm not, all that well in this case, but there is always the next action in this case, right? So I think that is something which will be able to balance well of when is not oversharing or too much sharing, or when you come across as serious in this case, for this letter writer. So that is kind of like where we probably go with this lah, you know. I would like to also, is there anything to add on with regards to this?
Not very much, just a few, maybe
Yep.
just a few things. I really love the way that you would say it to your team. Just to share a few other ways of saying that, there have been times we don't know where to go. Every door seems closed, and everywhere we look, it looks like there are obstacles, and everyone is looking at me and saying that, so what now? What do we do now? And when I don't have the answers, um, what I will tell them is that, okay, I hear you, I acknowledge you're right, this is the situation that we are in. So even acknowledging that rather than brushing it aside can make a difference to the team, where they realize that, okay, my leader is not delusional, my leader acknowledges the ugly truth. Then the next step is to let them know that, okay, so what am I going to do about it? And I always say that, okay, I don't have all the answers, but let me talk to a few people. Let me reach out to my mentors, and I'll speak to the people who are more business savvy, or um, who may have certain insights, different insights, people that I can learn from, people that I look up to and respect as mentors, invite them out for a coffee, get different perspectives, and then I'll have something better to come back to the team. Uh, Last case, I'll tell them that, okay, guys, I hear you. I'm also feeling the worries and uncertainties. Give me some time. Let me meditate on it, and I'll come back to you with a clearer mind.
Mm.
Mm,
Let's say if we were to flip it around,
mm,
to, let's say if we are the manager right now and we have a new joiner who just joined us, and this new joiner is, this person speaks his mind or her mind and comes across as real, as the word real, right? To say, oh, this is what I'm going through, I can't deliver this because my I need to take my parents to chemo, my mom to chemo, and I mean, yes, all these things, life,
yeah, yeah.
happens, right? How would we view someone like that, in this case, right? Someone who just joined us, but have all these, life issues coming up, right?
Mm,
And how do we deal with it, right? So I just want to it kind of like ties back to this whole thing as well. I think it's got to do with how what I call it, how much you share also has got to do with how new you are to the organization to a certain extent. What it means is that, for example, if someone who hasn't proven themselves from a competent perspective, right? So they just joined, and then before they can even deliver anything, they have all these life challenges that goes through. I'm not denying the fact that this person has go through all these things, but there would also be a time where I'll be thinking like, this comes across as a little bit like an excuse in this case, because if I were to if it's going to be another person in this case, this person has worked for me for, I don't know, 2 3 years, has proven record, and when the person say that, hey, I am going through this, and with the family and all and so on, I can understand, right? So I think that's the bit which, in this case, the letter writer also needs to be able to be to kind of know where, like is if this person is new to the organization, then there needs to be this person needs to be able to prove his or her competency or capability first to a certain extent before sharing all the things that the person is actually going through in this case, all the self-doubts and imposter syndrome and so on. Any thoughts about that in terms of, like,
mm.
establishing a baseline capability first?
Yeah, we've actually experienced this. So what you're saying is like kisah benar. Um, what what we do is that I would still rather that person be open and share, even if it is oversharing, so that as the as the leader, I know what I'm dealing with. Regardless of whether that person has proven his or her capability or not, I would like to know what that person is going through, what they are
Okay.
grappling with. There must be some reason why I hired that person, which
Right.
means there is some expectation of capability already. And when this person opens up, then what we would do is to assess the situation and have a very honest discussion with that person about what can you do, what with all that is going on in your life, is this the right time for you to actually have this job? Maybe that person needs to take a sabbatical and handle life first before coming into work. If that person feels that, yes, I can, or I really do need this job, then we would work out a system with this person that, okay, so what can we count on you for? What can you deliver? And how can we support you to deliver that? And we would then negotiate the deliverables, um, maybe break it down into smaller packages so that that person can experience that, okay, it's not overwhelming, I'm able to do this. And sometimes this can go a long way, providing this kind of support can really go a long way to help
Agree.
that person feel more confident and more empowered.
Okay. So let's recap how we what are some of the pointers that the letter writer can consider moving forward with this situation. I think number one is to first of all acknowledge the that being human is okay because your people want to know that you're human too and they want to be able to relate to it. So I think that is the first step, and not to kind of say don't share, but yes, you can share that, right? But it needs to also couple with the second part to it, which is to say that yes, this is what I'm going through, but moving forward, these are the steps that we are going to be taking with regards to the business needs in this case, right? Like you said, to be able to acknowledge that yes, this is what we're going through, this is what I'm going through as well. This is some of the thoughts that I have. I'm not very clear entirely, but to get clarity, this is what I will do. So there's always a two parts to it, and just not so-called telling how you're going, what you're going through, and then without the second part. Because if you're doing that, it's not empowering to the team. You're just playing the victim. And these, and also we talk about capabilities as well. I think if you do have any juniors or anyone, they shouldn't abuse the trust with the company to replace so-called things that they cannot deliver with what they're going through, right? So I think it's important to still raise it up to the manager, in this case, to say, this is what I'm going through, and would want to be able to say, then let's work out something that is still doable for me based on my current situation. And it shouldn't be like, oh, because I'm going through this, hence I cannot deliver on my work. I think especially when you're very new in an organization, I think that's really important because you were hired for a reason. You're hired to deliver on certain things. But of course, we understand that life gets in the way. So, but it's able to figure out what will be the deliverable in this case. So
May
to
I
have
add
that kind of
on a little
conversation.
bit more?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So how we do it is that we set very small milestones, but these milestones are indicators of whether that person is just using it as an excuse or whether this person is really putting in the effort to try. And these small milestones could be even things as simple as what can you get done in the next half a day, or what can you get done in the next 2 hours. So it is just really very small, and it helps that person stay on track. It gives them something that, so that they can focus on something while the whole mess of their life is going on.
Understand.
And sometimes it can be as simple as, if you can't do it, let us know. So as long as that person is checking in and not ghosting us, then we know that, okay, this person is still empowered. But when this person ghosts us, then we know that, okay, maybe this person is not ready, is not in the right frame of mind for a full-time job. Maybe this person needs to take care of himself or herself first before getting a job.
Right.
So the small
Okay.
indicators, the small milestones help to let the leader know whether this person is just using it as an excuse or a crutch, or whether that person is really trying their best.
Okay. I think it's important to also the not to wait sometimes for, like how we usually say that if you've got any challenges and so on, just look for us. Most of the time they won't look for us for many reasons. Maybe they don't want to come across as incompetent, or they don't want to come across as they don't have all the answers. I think this is where the manager sometimes need to be able to be proactive enough to kind of just reach out anyway. Just say that, hey, we talked about this and you don't seem to be able to deliver this. What's going on? Understand that you're trying to balance things at home. Yeah, so I think it's to be able to work all these things out, and ultimately is to serve the business goals, as well as also an opportunity for the person to grow as well in this case.